once it's
Hello.
on. Yep. You
Hello.
cool. Speaking to the mic as much as possible. All right, we're
Heard
gonna
that.
hone it in. MIC podcast, episode 73. Man, community content. You get it all here, man. And I'm here with a yoga instructor, business owner, COO, Charlotte Supernatural here at the building. What's going on in the building?
What the fuck is that?
We're shaking, Charlotte. Yo, it's good to see you, yo.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah, nah, I mean, the energy is always good with you, man. I mean, you even came in here just on
You
10.
know,
Like,
I was
yeah,
ready.
I
I
know.
was like, I
It
can't
makes for
wait.
good pod energy.
I
Like,
can't wait to see you guys. Like, I feel like even just you asking me, both of you asking, for me to be on the podcast.
Hell
'cause
yeah.
Obviously, you talked about it. Like, I feel really grateful for that, and like, I was just thinking to myself, like, I've done a few podcasts before, but I
Okay.
feel like, I just really vibe with you, obviously.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
facts.
Like, when we
Right,
first
right.
met, too, like, remember that one day we were sitting at Creators Next Door? and
dog,
that, like,
we had a pod right there
we
for real.
did, though.
Like,
We went in deep, bro. I don't
Yeah.
even remember what we were talking about completely.
no, we were,
but
because like we're
went
talking about everything. Yeah.
literally
yeah.
everything. And it was just like, in that moment, I was like, this guy, he just gets it. And
Yeah.
like, I love that about life a lot of times and just connecting with human beings. And you just have those moments where it's like, never met you a day in my life,
Mm-hmm.
but like, I know you.
No, no, and I feel like life was just even like trying to meet as many of those people as possible because like it feels like a chore, like kind of getting up with people sometimes. Just like okay, like where you from, what do you do, this and the third. But like when you can just like kind of enter a conversation with someone and just kind of get to like the meat and potatoes, you know what I mean? Just like immediately, like because like I'm the same way, bro. Like I'm just like I'm trying to find out about who I'm talking to, who I'm with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I mean like immediately when we met, we would just start talking about yes, like what do you like? Oh yeah, I like this. Okay, well okay, well I've been here. Okay, well where you been? I'm just like, and it was just like next thing you know, like we look around, no one's around, and like we've been talking.
We're just in deep.
We've been talking for
It's
like
been an
55
hour.
minutes, right?
I
Yeah, for real though. No,
Swear.
but I mean like now we're just gonna like break it down, let the people get to know a little bit more about you, yo. So where are you? Where are you from?
So I was born in Sarasota, Florida. I feel like this
Oh,
question,
shit.
to be honest with you, this question always like
Plagues
when
you,
I
like,
answer
yeah.
it, it's like such a long answer because I feel like all of the places I've lived have been where I'm from, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Like all of them have like a piece of my heart and
That's
like a
a
piece
fact.
of my soul. Like they've made me who I am. But I was born in Sarasota, Florida. And then I moved to Pittsburgh in 2008
Oh, wow,
because of the
okay.
stock market crash. So my dad was like a commercial contractor and he had an amazing job when we lived in Florida and stuff like that. His boss was actually like his really good friend. And he was just like, bro, you got to leave. Like the stock market was really like shit was going down, you know? And my dad was like, all right, we picked up everything. We sold our house and it was crazy. Like when I was a kid, I was only in 4th grade.
When all that happened?
And and
Wow.
it didn't even bother me. Like it was just so like natural. It felt so like effortless. Like I've always been a person of change. Like I love change. I love evolution, and I love being able to like step into a new version of myself and of my life and of my experience. And I didn't tell anyone I was leaving. None of my
Oh,
friends,
damn.
nobody at school, nobody knew that I was moving.
Yeah.
Until literally the day I was leaving.
That's
I was
I mean
like,
because
"All
like
right,
yeah,
guys,
because
see you
like
never."
4th grade is like I mean I don't even know, like that's definitely like kind of before you're like allowed cell phone, so it's just like how do you even kind of relay that information because like stuff is kind of happening so fast and like
Yeah.
you're about like 9-10 years old type
Yeah.
of thing, like how you supposed to let everyone in your circle know like yo I'm about to just uproot my life,
Yeah.
like don't really have much saying it, like
Yeah.
peace y'all, like
I think it's one of those things too. Like I've always been the type of person that like I don't want to make it okay. I don't want to make other people I don't know, I don't want them to be emotional about my experience, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
okay.
Or like latch on to my experience like, "Oh, I'm going to miss you so much."
did you realize
I'm
that
gonna
like
miss you.
so young, you think?
I don't think I knew then.
Okay,
right?
gotcha,
But
like in
now,
hindsight, yeah.
Now I recognize I like moving very like to myself. I like being very to myself when I make big transitions and big changes. And I also try not to like, I don't know, be emotional about them. Obviously you have those emotional moments.
Yeah,
but
right.
I think even then I kind of even knew like to cut that emotional energy kind of early on and make sure that I wasn't, because I think that sometimes if you open that gate up, all of your friends saying, "I miss you, I'm going to miss you so much, don't leave, that could have really, maybe deterred my experience moving to Pittsburgh and like my excitement about it, you know?
Facts.
And I think that happens a lot, you know, how like in life in general, like you don't want to tell everybody all of your moves because you don't want to hear other people's opinions because
Yeah,
sometimes
or
that
like
can
the
really sway.
the detractors, or like even people just kind of like making you second guess and all that shit.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
exactly. So I think I was even doing that then, you know,
Damn.
which is it's so weird to think about.
Yeah,
when
because
you're
I mean,
a child.
in fourth, it's just like it's happening. Like I don't
Yeah.
like. You can have an opinion if I'm not moving to Florida, but like I know I'm going. So
Yeah,
it's just
so it's just
yeah.
what
But like
this
I doubt
is
a
what it
fourth
is.
grader would be like, "You're not moving to Florida. You're
Yeah.
a liar, Charlotte."
Exactly, like you don't do with all that dumb bullshit.
yeah.
Like you know how kids are too.
Yeah,
like,
facts.
Oh,
facts.
she's
No.
doing too much.
Kids
She's
are
not
dickheads, bro,
leaving.
for sure.
So
definitely. From like 10 to 13, that's like ultimate dickheadness. Then like 14, it's like, okay, I gotta be cool because I'm in high school and shit now.
Yeah.
And then that's just a whole other saga of life. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
nah, kids are assholes for real. Like they be on some bullshit sometimes.
For real
like,
though,
yeah, no
I think
doubt.
that's just like how it is though, growing up. You know,
No,
like,
facts.
But I think that people still are assholes as we get older. They just
No,
get better
yeah,
at being
it's
able
like
to
yeah,
hide
like
it,
they
you know?
stuff it down now, but then like the leaks that come out, it's like, okay, damn, you're really an asshole. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah, that's kind of crazy. So, all right, so like I guess like spent some time in Florida, and then like had to move, and then were you in Pittsburgh just pretty much ever since?
So I was in Pittsburgh from 2008 until 2016.
Okay.
And within that like amount of time, things were really good at the beginning, and then stuff just kind of hit the fan in my like family life. Like
Got you.
my grandparents were getting sick and passing away. My mom was getting sick and things like that. Luckily, she's okay now. But
Right.
I hit this point where I had played softball my whole life. I played softball at like a really high level, even when I was young in Florida. Because it's a lot more competitive there.
How far did you like go in that?
I played softball until I was 17.
Okay.
And I was on travel teams, in-house
wow.
teams, high school, all of it. I played on every team I could possibly be on.
Nice.
I would travel all over the country and stuff and play.
Dope.
But it's crazy because I basically didn't get on my team first. Like, I don't know, I guess I was going to be a senior. And my travel team, they kicked me off of the team because of some like just other stuff that was happening with my family, like personal things.
Whoa, that's
And
what the fuck?
it was crazy. I was going through a really hard time, and they just kind of like left me out in the dirt.
That's fucked
like
up. It's like I
swear.
won mad games for y'all. Like what the
Swear,
fuck?
I've been playing with same dudes, like the coaches and stuff, for years. So that was really a big like hit to me. Like, because
Damn.
softball had been my whole life. I love this idea of like ego, right? So many people talk about ego, but they don't really even know what it is. And something I learned recently is that ego is your attachment to anything in the outside world, right? Because like if you are out of ego, you're living in love. And when you're living in love, everything is everything and there is no separation. So when you're attached to something, like that idea of me being this softball player, like I was
Right.
this star, whatever, everyone in my
Right.
family, all my friends, it's my whole life, having that kind of stripped away from me, it was one of the most challenging but most beautiful things ever, because at that same time, I started connecting with my best friend Erin, and that was actually the same time I met Mike. It was like all
Oh,
along
shit,
like the
okay.
same, really like span, like maybe like a couple months span. And I started traveling with Erin. She was a little bit older than me, so
Was she on the team as well? Or
nah,
like, you
she
met her
was
outside the
just, she's a
team? Okay.
wild one. Especially then,
Okay.
she's like a wanderlust type of a girl.
Got you,
like,
got you.
She was just,
You may find her in like a Volkswagen traveling.
bro, for real,
yeah,
though,
right.
like,
yeah.
she's really that girl.
Word,
like,
word.
She's been all over the world, like multiple different countries and stuff. And I was young when I met her.
Okay.
She was 3-4 years older than me. And she started taking me on places,
Dope.
to trips and stuff, right? And I'm like, oh, this is life outside of softball. This is life
Right.
outside of this like paradigm I've been told.
Did you just like kind of like take the trip because like the like the softball thing happened? Like you were just like, I just gotta get away, or like was there like a cool down period between that time and then like when you started traveling with her?
Yeah, I think that it was just like like how things just naturally evolve.
Yeah, right.
It just felt like that next step of like my evolution, like in the same way that I didn't like resist the change of, leaving Florida. It felt the same in that experience as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and this one year we went to Arizona and I fell in love with it. I don't know what it was. We were on the roof of this car in
Damn, I haven't
Sedona,
been to
Arizona.
Arizona before. Like,
Dude.
I've heard good things though.
You
Like,
gotta go. Like, it is something about it is just absolutely magical.
Okay.
And northern Arizona, there's this spot, it's called Sedona. So Sedona is like this extremely like, it's like one of these like magical wonders. It's different than like the wonders of the world.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
I feel like you had to have heard about it.
I've like either heard about, like seen some sneaky like IG artsy posts and like they may have been in Sedona, but like I didn't know they were in Sedona.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, because it's definitely like all the rocks are bright red because there's like an excess amount of iron in the rocks.
Oh shit.
But there's also these like vortexes in the ground and stuff.
Okay,
Like,
I think okay,
you know what
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. Like is it yeah, like it looks like those like smooth rocks, like
That's in
kinda,
Arizona. That's actually Antelope Canyon in Arizona.
Got you.
So
Okay,
it's kind
okay,
of,
okay.
that's like near the Grand Canyon.
Got
And
you,
that's maybe
okay.
like 4 hours from like Phoenix.
Okay. So
but
maybe I haven't seen Sedona then. Yeah.
dude, I'm gonna have to show you pictures. Like,
Okay.
it's literally, I would go there all the time because so we went that one trip, right? I remember we were just on the roof of the car. We didn't have a place to stay this one night.
Damn.
We were looking up at the stars, and I'd never seen that many stars in my life. And I remember being like, I'm supposed to be here. And so that same year, I applied to go to Arizona State University.
Oh shit. Okay.
And, you know, my grandparents, they were very helpful at that time and very supportive of me because they knew I needed to get out of here because of the situations that I was, you know, finding myself in. And, yeah, I moved to Arizona. I lived there for 4 years, you know.
Yeah.
Went to Arizona State,
Nah,
graduated
facts.
from there.
Hell
Go
yeah.
Devils.
Yeah, word up, word up.
And that experience was like so amazing because I went there by myself. Like,
Word.
I
Just
didn't
like
know
meeting
anyone.
people. Yeah,
Bro,
just
the
like
funniest
different
shit,
walks of life.
when I went there,
Yeah.
bro, literally, I get on this airplane, right? My whole life's about to change, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know anyone I'm going to see.
Facts.
My grandpa's friend is picking me up from the airport. Like I have no idea what I'm about to get into, really.
Right.
Like I don't even know where I'm going. Like I signed up for all the stuff. I signed up for the apartment and everything,
Yeah,
but I have no
word.
idea
Mad,
what shit
yeah,
is,
bro. Mad
Like,
classes you don't even know what you're about to take. Like,
swear, but at
yeah,
the
yeah.
time, I'm cheap as fuck. So I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna bring 2 bags with me. I don't need anything other than, you know, 1 checked and 1 carry-on bag for my whole life. Okay.
Yeah, in
All right. So I
Arizona.
bring all this stuff. I have those like airtight bags. You know how they like suck down all the air and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like 5 of those stuffed in this little like Vera Bradley bag. That shit's heavy as fuck. Like
Yeah,
150
facts.
pounds. I'm walking around with on my back.
Yep.
Lugging my blankie. I've got my water bottle. All this stuff. I'm having a meltdown because I'm leaving my whole life. You know.
Yeah.
And I get on the plane and I'm having a moment. I'm like, finally on the plane. This is so great. I get on the plane, I go to open up the water bottle, and it's one of those ones with like a straw. And the water fucking squirts all over my face and just got all over all my stuff.
Holy
and I was
shit.
like, this is literally
The
like,
devil comes in many forms. That's crazy.
like, what have I done to deserve
That's
this in this
wild,
moment?
man. I didn't even gonna lie, like taking 2 bags on a trip like that's like some shit I would do. But like it's not like I would just make that shit like no release stretch. It's like fuck it. It's just gonna have to do.
You know, at some point,
It's
when
gonna
you're
have to
just
do,
like,
like-
you get to that point where you're like, oh, I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah, but
like,
no,
I'm
for
not
real.
paying that
Yeah,
extra $75 for
real.
this
We're
bag.
Gonna
Like,
make it work. I'm gonna wear
an
about
innovator.
16 shirts, you know what
Swear.
I mean, and pack the rest, and we just gonna make it rock that way, like for real.
the innovative stuff, though.
Nah,
you
for
know,
real.
it's like, and it's like that hard headedness. Like,
No, yeah, the
I know I
stubbornness.
can do this. I need the bare minimum. I don't need anything else, you know, other than that or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
So like, when did yoga become like yeah, like when did you transition into yoga and like doing all that stuff?
Yeah. So actually, when I moved to Arizona, so at Arizona State, even with my major that I chose, super random. I literally I wanted to live in Arizona. So that was the reason why I went to college.
Okay.
And it was like unbeknownst to me that like I would uncover my purpose, like the things that I was supposed to be doing, the things that I was genuinely interested in. And it wasn't even like my majors, like, so I was studying tourism and hospitality management.
Okay.
And basically I was told I had to take like a stress management class. So that stress management class is actually like a meditation class. So you're learning like the importance of meditation, science behind it, everything, right? You go into a deep dive the whole semester, but you also meditate in those classes. And I was just telling a story about it the other day, and it's so funny because I remember my first meditation, I was like laughing, like, this can't be real. Like, what are these people doing? Like,
Right.
it's like this guided meditation, and I'm like, this is so lame, like, whatever. And then slowly but surely, I'm like kind of sinking into my seat and like letting myself have these experiences. And I'm like noticing, it wasn't like an immediate change, but I started really noticing, how I was evolving as a human and just like responding more in my life than reacting, and being less emotional and being less aggressive even.
Bro, like I ain't even gonna lie, right? I started meditating probably like what are we in, like 2023 now? It's like February. I probably started like last October, like September, October, and like I was just in between jobs at that time, and I was yeah, like just I had like always had just had like a real like anxiety riddled, like I was just always like at a certain level anxiety wise, and like I don't even know like because like I remember I tried it before when I initially moved here, and like it helped, you know what I mean, like but like I didn't really like catch on to it, but like I downloaded this app called Balance, and I don't know, just like it's more personalized, you know what I mean? Because like they'll like ask you questions about like certain goals like you're trying to reach, and like you know what I mean. So like it'll give you that, and then I just started using it, and I've really noticed it because like one, I just like had the time to be able to like sit for like 15 minutes like at the beginning of my day and like meditate and shit like that, and at first like I'm not like even sure if I noticed it, but like after like maybe 2 weeks, I'm just like like that shit really is like it's a benefit for real. Like I could just like see in like certain aspects of my life how like you said, like my responses were changing to like certain things, and like how it was like man, like it just quieted my mind as far as like, or like just it was able to give me just like that autonomy over my mind, because like bro, like your mind is gonna do its own thing. You think you have control over your mind. You don't have control over that shit, bro. Like you really have to rein that shit in.
Yeah.
It's really like a dog. Like it's
Bro,
like a puppy, bro. For real.
Crazy sad. I was just about to say this.
Nah, deadass. It's like a
roommate
puppy.
said to me, he said to me that your mind is like a dog. You have to put a leash on it and walk it.
Deadass, bro. Because like if you don't, it'll just start pissing on the couch.
For real,
eating
though.
shoes up, like bro. Like you just gotta tell that shit, calm down, because that shit will really play some fucking tricks on you, bro.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta take a deep breath, or like just like kind of I don't know, just like just be present. Do what you gotta do to like anchor yourself to the present. So. Yeah, I feel you on that meditation shit. Like that shit is real.
That is the thing too, right? Like going to Arizona State and learning these things was so much different than, everybody hears ASU is like party school or whatever, but like it's honestly just an incredible school. Like I was so grateful that I was able to have that experience, because it made me fall in love with learning. Like I love to learn, and it made me curious. It made me interested in things, and like even like meditation specifically, and like mindfulness, right? Like the science behind it is all about like tapping out of the sympathetic nervous system and going into the parasympathetic nervous system, right? So the sympathetic nervous system is like fight or flight mode. And it's crazy because our brains have not evolved as humans. That we have the same brains that we had when we were cavemen, right? So basically that fight or flight mode, the way you feel stressed when you're in traffic or when you're honking at somebody or when one of your friends annoys you, that's the same stress that was encountered when we were running from fucking
when niggas
tigers.
were and dinosaurs
for real,
and
bro,
shit.
when shit was real.
When
like,
niggas were fighting the T-Rex and
like,
you
bro,
mad
you can go on
because
your phone and
your
order
Starbucks
food.
order is wrong.
For real, bro.
We had to really deal with things in life.
Like it's real shit.
Yeah, right.
And so the parasympathetic nervous system, when you focus in on your breathing and when you focus in on the present moment awareness, right? No matter how it is that you do that, because it's not even necessarily just like laying down and meditating. Like meditation is like a way in which you live your life. It's just like being present, being mindful, being here in this moment.
No, I agree with that.
And that parasympathetic nervous system is all about like rest, healing, relaxation, rejuvenation, and even like digestion. So it's like your body starts to work differently for you. You start to look different. You start to feel different. Your mind starts to work differently.
Right.
It's so crazy. And like having those experiences, so then moving forward into like yoga, right?
Yeah.
So that was like my first little taste of like
that
meditation, mindfulness. I started understanding it because now I had the science. I was like, oh.
Did you do that research on your own, or like was that through just like the class you took?
It was all just the class.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
like
Okay.
the classes, like once again, like ASU is just amazing because something like that, people look at this like foo-foo spiritual, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, like this is real, like scientific information that people have studied. My teachers wrote the books that I was reading, you know, and it was very new. Like all of it was very new. And I ended up taking a yoga class in my semester, the one after. And that class was just like changed my life, you know, because it made yoga like I was doing it twice a week. You know, you had to go maybe like Monday, Wednesday, whatever. I ended my day with it. It was like 6 to 7:30. And it was just like I looked forward to that class every week. I feel like I grew so much because I understood the power of like consistency, even like, because if you miss class, like the only thing you have to do for yoga class is go there, write down in a journal what you experienced for your day, and that's it.
Yeah.
You just have to be
It's
there.
not asking you to do much, right?
And just having to show up on a daily basis for the class made me learn how to like show up for myself even, you know, and seeing like, I don't know, having my teacher teach me all these things and learning how to do different poses, and even just seeing myself now and how I kind of like even use his class structure a little bit and try to implement some of the things that he spoke on, because he was a very different teacher. Like he used this book by Deepak Chopra. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, you know, one of the
Heard the
leaders in
name before.
meditation,
Yeah, for sure.
everything, especially like the pioneer of like the scientific aspect of it all, you know.
Gotcha, yeah.
And we used this book as like our curriculum. So it was like the 7 spiritual laws of yoga. And it was just amazing to be able to have this like piece of literature that like we would do, you know, our class, our yoga class, but then we'd go into the mental and the spiritual aspects of thing as well. And like fast forwarding to me now as a teacher, like I really try to make sure that every class that I teach, no matter what it is, to make sure that we are embodying that body, mind, and soul. Like I am really like getting you to think deeper, even people that don't like thinking very deeply or don't consider them very spiritual, you know, like I like really giving people these like existential experiences, because when I uncovered it or when I felt it for the first time, or when
like
I had somebody lead me,
eye-opening to you.
it's like, if I could help one other person, then it's worth it to me.
Facts.
You know?
So like how, I mean, like, it just even kind of like leads me to my next, you know, question a little bit. Like, so how are the like the yoga classes you lead now? How are they different from maybe some of the other yoga classes that are out there?
So to me, one of the big things I noticed about just like the spiritual community itself, yoga community, things like that, to me, it's very like whitewashed and very much just like, if you have money, you can go to these places. You can pay $200 for a membership a month, you know, or whatever. And when I'm looking around, one thing that really bothered me when I lived in Arizona was recognizing in a lot of these classes I'm going to at separate classes from being in college, because I would go to other ones myself. I was just noticing, you know, everyone in here is old and white. And that really bothered me because, you know, I thought to myself, you know, where I'm from, like coming to Pittsburgh, right? Like it's a wide variety of different types of people, you know, and I have plenty of friends, especially that are Black or, you know, Latino or whatever. And I'm sitting here thinking like, wow, like these are the types of communities of people that need this.
Yeah.
Right. And we're not gifting that to them, or they don't have the ability to do it. Right. Because you make it this thing that's almost like, oh, well, this is reserved if you have money, and if you this, if you that.
It's almost like golf for real. Like
it
it's
is,
like, you know, like shit like that, or like skiing, or like, you know what I mean? It's like you don't really see like too many Black people. Like shout out to Schoolboy Q, because that nigga's golfing now. And, like, you know, he's doing this thing. But like you don't really see too many like, you know, people of color just, you know, in those, you know, sort of spaces, because I mean it just really wasn't accessible. Like it wasn't even really meant to like, you know, bleed into those communities. You know what I mean? Like it was a very like boys club, you know, like type thing, or if you like, you know, could afford it type of thing, you know what I mean? So I feel that.
Yeah. So for me, something that's really big about the way in which I teach and why I started my company and why I teach classes now, and like my inspiration behind teaching, is just making it welcoming to everyone. I want to give everyone the opportunity to learn how to take care of their body. I want to give everyone the opportunity to, you know, learn how to utilize their mind in a different way, like we're talking about, right?
Yeah, right.
And also giving them these experiences, like, you know, I'll teach a yoga class, but a lot of times I end every class that I have with a meditation and breathwork session. Because with breathwork, you just get people really vulnerable, and no matter who they are, no matter where they've been, no matter what their life has been, every single person that I've taught these classes to has this like amazing experience that they were not even remotely expecting, that maybe they have never experienced before, you know, and being able to give people that peace and not like locking it away for only certain, you know, collectives of people. Even like teaching classes, I don't teach telling people what the pose name is. I'm not going to sit here and be downward dog, then, you know, Shavasana, all these things. People don't know what that is, you know? So it makes it really like, if I was taking a class and I didn't know what that was,
another
it would make me
barrier.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
and maybe a little bit insecure.
Create that like
So-
separation between like
Yeah.
instructor and like student type of thing. Like,
it's almost like that ego thing again, you know, where it's like, oh, well, I'm the yoga guru, so
Yeah, right.
I'm above you, and if you don't know the poses, then whatever. And
then you're
I'm
in the
so-
wrong place.
Yeah, like that shit's like for the birds to me.
Yeah.
Like, because I would have teachers that would do that kind of stuff, and I'm like, nah, like I want to make sure that I'm explaining what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, put your left foot here, right hand here. Make sure you're sucking into your stomach while you're doing this. Like, I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to like paint a picture to you of how your
Yeah.
body's supposed to be feeling and how you're supposed to be, you know, positioned,
Mm-hmm.
and like really allow for you to experience what that pose is, and like the importance of learning how to utilize your body to connect to these higher energy levels, you know?
No, I feel that. Like, and you spoke on accessibility, and like, I was on and I want to make sure I'm pronouncing this right.
Namai.
Namai, okay. And like, part of Namai's mission statement is that accessibility that, like, you know, you were talking about. You know what I mean, which is dope. But like, was there ever a point where you personally didn't feel like yoga was accessible to you, or like just going to ASU just kind of like pretty much opened that whole world up for you?
I feel like, yeah, as I was saying, like some classes, you know, I would go to maybe when I was newer, especially, you know, the teacher will be doing these poses, like one leg poses, you know, like put your leg out straight in front of you, standing up, you know, one leg out, one leg on the floor, grab that with your toe, pull it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
what are we doing?
Yeah,
like,
right,
you want
right.
to show all of us that you can do all of this shit. And
Yeah.
like,
You
it's
should have been
just-
at Barnum and Bailey's. Like why are you why are you
Yeah.
fucking teaching the yoga
for real
course?
though,
Like,
bro, like it felt like, yeah, like we're in a circus or something.
Yeah,
like
right.
this isn't like about people's well-being or wellness. It's
Right.
like you're utilizing this
to
moment
get
for
your
you to
shit
stand on a
off,
platform.
right? New
you know?
book cover, you know what I mean? Type shit, right?
Yeah, and I think that like that's been my mission since the beginning. I feel like I've always been the type of person that like I can fit in anywhere, but I don't fit in anywhere, if that makes sense.
No, I feel you on that.
Like I've always felt
Like you could like get up with people, but it's like it might not necessarily be where you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But you're gonna make the most of the environment that like
Yeah.
you're at. You know what I mean?
yeah, like I will connect with anyone. I'll make friends. My mom and I always joke around, like I'll make friends with a fucking tree. Like you know what I mean? Like I'll catch a vibe with a
Yeah.
tree. I promise you. Like I
Yeah,
swear
I
to
mean,
God.
you'll
like,
mingle with some bark or no, you know,
Yeah.
mingle with a branch or two, like yeah.
Sometimes I'll peel a little piece of bark off and take it home with me. You know,
I might
like,
rip a stick
I
off a
swear.
branch, like
just as like a remember,
That's
a little
funny as hell.
memento, you know, of our special time together.
I feel that. That's funny as shit.
But yeah, like I love people. I love
Mm-hmm.
helping people. I love being around people. I feel like everyone says that kind of stuff, you know, but I love teaching people how to help themselves, you know, and like I think that like lack of access for so many people to learn these kinds of things, or maybe just even like the lack of knowledge really, you know, because it's a lot of newness really, like within the science of meditation, mindfulness, and yoga. Like everyone knows and understands the concepts and that it's good for you, but not necessarily everyone understands why, you know?
feel
So
that.
I really try to be that bridge of everything. I try to hit multiple points so all different types of people can connect, you know, people that are scientific, people that are spiritual, people that are creative and artistic, like people that are very like logical and analytical, you know. I try to be a very well-rounded individual.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy for me to, you know, connect with people in even when I'm teaching, you know, like speak in a way that everyone can understand
Right,
and
right.
can comprehend and get the most out of. You know?
I got you. Speak on like the origins of Namai. Like, how did that come together? And like, you know, at what point in your journey did that, you know, all that start?
Yeah. So in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
that was my senior year of college. And Namai, the name, I actually came up with because it means home in Lithuanian. And my grandmother was Lithuanian. So
Okay.
that was a big shout out to her. You know, she was one of my biggest
Yeah,
inspirations.
cause like, yeah, when I was on the website, I was like, yeah, like I see it's like Lithuanian, but like, why did you choose that? Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, so my grandmother was just, you know, one of the most divine, incredible human beings I ever met in my life. And just, I know she's still with me every day. Like, I feel her energy so intensely with me at all times. And yeah, just, I thought to myself, you know, my grandfather actually passed. So that was her husband.
Okay.
they really like were just the best, like the most amazing grandparents, but just also friends, really. You know,
Yeah.
they were, I just remember growing up, like we were talking about the library earlier, like they would take me to the library when I was a kid, and I didn't realize how, you know, impactful that was that they would take me there, or they would take me and my brother to the park. You know, we'd go take a walk, take a hike. And those are things that I do now as an adult, you know,
Wow,
and those
yeah.
are really amazing and like healing practices for me and things that have really made me who I am. And just so grateful when, you know, to have them and just even have them in my life till the point that they were.
Right.
But my grandfather, he had passed away that year. And I remember thinking to myself right as he died, because he was a very successful person. He was like the president of finance in Bank of America in the
Wow.
80s. He was financing like the biggest marinas all over the country. So like you go to a marina like in San Francisco, he financed that dock. Like
That's crazy.
it's insane. And, you know, so many people loved him and respected him, and just everything he did, people looked at him like, that guy's something, you know, like he's just a good dude.
That's
and
all
he's
I'm trying to be is
successful.
like you know, just I'm just trying to leave that legacy for, you know,
Right?
whoever, like my grandkids, you know what I mean? Just like, yeah, your grandfather was doing some ill shit, man. You know, he was doing some lit
He
shit.
was really that
yeah,
dude.
Right, yeah.
Like, and when he
Facts.
passed, I remember being like, damn, I was drinking a lot at that time. I was partying a lot. I was very lost. And I remember, and I had just gotten out of this really horrible relationship, like literally the most like just traumatic stuff had happened. And
That is really the trauma trifecta, though. Bad relationship, alcohol, and then just, you know, whatever
bro,
third
like
event.
literally
like,
just
yeah.
hell on earth.
Yeah,
It was
right.
literal hell on earth. Even though I'm in this amazing place
Right.
and doing all these amazing things, going on all these cool trips and stuff like that, I was miserable.
Yeah.
You know? And when he passed, I remember thinking to myself, what's my legacy going to be? You know? And when I really like sat and thought about it, I thought to myself, okay, like I'm really liking this yoga stuff. I'm really liking this meditation and mindfulness. And at that time, I had actually completed a certificate to teach mindfulness and meditation from Arizona State.
Okay.
So all of that is like, it's like every one of those classes, there's multiple classes, all science-based and things like that as well. So there was like 5-6 classes I had to take to get that certificate.
Okay.
And I was one of like 3 people that even could get it, really. Like, so it was kind of crazy because it was brand
Damn.
new. And I just thought to myself, like, okay, I like cute stuff, right? I was going to yoga classes and I'm on this mat, and this mat's a piece of shit. I'm like, hate this mat. It's like not even cute. Like everything I do has to have like a little
bit of cuteness
You know what it
to
is, 'cause
it.
we
Just
both got that vibe,
a
like,
touch of cute.
we got that like, you know, when you got that style, you got
Yeah.
that like drip, you want to be a little bit different than everyone else.
Right.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, everything else about me is dope. My yoga mat's fucking lame. Like, I want to
Dog.
be cool even when I'm doing yoga. Like,
I'd be trying to like do that to like some like my work outfits. And,
Yeah,
like,
bro.
like you know,
get a little
some jobs,
spice.
yeah, like some jobs have called me on it, like, yo, sir, you actually can't wear those
Yeah.
you know, lay of pants. You know? It's like you lame ass, like, bro, that like they try to stifle you at every like down to the fucking clothes.
For real.
It's like being in the army, bro. Like that shit is really crazy. But nah, like I definitely
Yeah.
feel you on that.
Like, I feel like both of us, like, because that's one thing I really notice about you. Every time I see you, I always notice your outfit. Like, I always notice what you're wearing, and it's not from like a, like, what's the word? Like judgmental or critical type of
Yeah,
thing.
right.
It's like, wow, like that is how you express yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not doing that shit for anyone else. It's because you genuinely love the way you look when you're wearing this.
Yeah,
or
right.
how that looks on you, or how that like expresses who you are.
Definitely, right.
You know? And I was like, I should do that with some yoga mats. And, you know, found a manufacturer. I actually at that time I'd worked with my friend Darcy. She's still one of my best friends.
Okay.
She was a graphic designer, so she
Okay.
designed some of the mat designs for me.
Nice.
I also collaborated on the first project that I ever had with one of my friends at the time. He was a photographer, and I really wanted to help him like build up his photography business. So
Okay.
I used 2 of his photos on like this 5 mat collection, and promoted both of them on the site, everything like that. But God, like the years that have happened since then, it's so crazy because, you know, at that time I thought I had it all figured out. I thought that it was just sunshine and rainbows. Like, I got this, it's amazing. And having a business is so interesting because it's just like, once you start and you're really an entrepreneur, you're really the type of person that's like, I'm going to make this my life. There is no turning back.
No.
Once you're in, like, and that's just your
It's
life
like put
now.
on the Darth Vader helmet, bro. It's like, I can't get out of this now.
Bro, like this just
If
where we
I
at.
do, I
I'm
might
just thinking
die.
of, like,
If I leave this shit, I might die. That's where it's at right
For
now.
real
you
though, but
feel
that's
me?
really what it feels like.
Yeah,
It's
right.
almost like your soul is now deeply invested, like into this. And it's like everything in my life had to change, right? I thought to myself at that time, I remember in 2019, 2020, obviously 2020 happened.
Right.
You know, I went on this, it was like a mastermind group
Okay.
trip with Aubrey Marcus. I think I told you about him before.
Maybe,
But
yeah.
he co-owns On It with Joe Rogan, or he did.
Okay.
And so he's big on like total human optimization type of stuff. And when I went to this mastermind group, it was in Tulum, Mexico. It was like a week-long trip, retreat. Changed my life, right? Everything, something shifted in me. You know, I'll never be the same person that I was prior to doing that. And coming back, my mats had just come in. It was my first shipment. They just came. I was so excited, made these sales and stuff. And then COVID hit, right? It was like literally right a couple weeks span of time. So did that trip, got my mats, did the promo, COVID hit. I'm like, oh my God, now what? Like I just started this company. I was supposed to be selling mats to studios. Nothing. I had bought mats for studios. I couldn't use them.
Wow.
Like, because they were going to buy them from me. And then they ended up being like, oh, we don't have money for it anymore. So, you know, it took a hit on that right at the beginning. Like, and although that happened on that like physical, tangible realm, you know, like with the products or with the money or anything, that wasn't like the most difficult part. I think that the most difficult part of having a business is like becoming the business owner, becoming the person that stands for and lives in the mission of my company.
Having all that like on your shoulders type shit.
Because how are you going to have, you know, a company about wellness and about, you know, body, mind, soul development and all these things if you're not taking care of yourself, if you aren't living in your most optimal truth, if you aren't happy, if you aren't in love with your life, you know? And so I think my journey since, you know, within the company has been a lot of me and my personal evolution, my personal growth and development. And it's so weird because in 2020, I was in my backyard in Arizona, like sitting back there. I would sit back there every day, you know, and that's when I first started even like putting meditations and stuff online and sharing them with people because I felt like they needed them at that time. And I remember having this one meditation where the prompt was something along the lines of, what are you willing to let go of in order to become who you're meant to be? And at that time, it was letting go of all these party friends, letting go of this lifestyle I created for myself that was not serving me.
Yeah.
Letting go of a lot of the things that I was doing that don't serve me and didn't serve me. And it was crazy because I had this vision, right? Like in the meditation of who you're going to become. Second I heard that, I had this look of myself. I had blonde hair, and at the time, mind you, I had short black hair. I had blonde hair in
For
the vision.
real? Yeah, black hair?
Yeah.
Damn. I can't even picture that.
Right? It's just weird to look at even sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's like not even me. And that's why it was even weirder. I was like, wow, like my hair is blonde. And it was curly. And I remember wearing this specific top. It was like this like purple tank top, and I completely forgot about it. Right. But that vision really stayed in the back of my mind, you know, kind of even like daily, like just tailoring me to become that person.
Yeah.
Didn't know how that was going to unravel whatsoever. You know, fast forward, I moved to California for about 10 months.
Okay.
And then I ended up moving back to Pittsburgh actually because everything was still shut down in California. So it was really just a waste of my time, money, everything.
You moved to California during COVID?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a jump though.
Yeah.
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 That's
It was
crazy.
a bold move by me because when I was finished at ASU, I was like, I'm not staying here. I have to go to California. And I didn't know why. And I thought it was because that was supposed to be my life. I thought that's where that vision was going to be coming true. I thought that's where my company was going to thrive and everything was just going to be sunshine and rainbows. And to be honest, it ended up being a complete opposite of that.
I didn't even go lie. Like I thought I was supposed to get an apartment in San Francisco. You know what I
Really?
mean? But I was just coming down off Molly. That's a whole other saga. My life. That's a whole other saga.
I definitely would love to go in with that. About that one
So
day
that
with
was
you.
my little stint of where I was supposed to be. Like,
Bro,
I
but maybe
was
that's
like,
why I came up with the fucking idea. Like, I could have just been tripping or something. And I was
Yeah,
like,
you
I need to
know.
go to
Now I'm in
California.
California
I'm that type of
and
bitch
sober.
too, bro. I'm telling you, I'm that type of bitch. When I
Word.
come up with a decision, when I make a decision in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm doing something, There is no turning
I
back.
feel you. Yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
is
I'm
what it
like
is.
in that sense,
You know,
right?
like,
No, for
if
sure.
I'm doing this shit, we're gonna do it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, I was even living in Colorado when COVID hit, and then like I
I
had to
didn't know
move
that.
back. Yeah, no, I had to move back home, and then yeah, that's just when Mike was in my ear about moving to Pittsburgh, but I just wasn't really in the headspace like make another move. So
Yeah.
I came out here for a week, and it was just an epiphanal week, if that's even a word. You know what I mean? It just revelations. You know what I mean? That weekend, I'm pretty sure like maybe not even a month after I like booked a Greyhound, booked Airbnb for like 2-3 months, and you know what I mean, just started to make it shake.
Yeah.
Top of 2021. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I
That's
definitely feel that.
crazy. When did you come here? Like, when was that?
Yeah, like literally like January 4th, 2021.
That's crazy because I moved back here February 1st, 2021.
Oh shit, yeah. So like not too far behind.
That's
like, yeah, that's
crazy,
wild.
dude.
For real.
That's so weird.
For real, you know what I
It's
mean?
like another one of those moments where
Yeah.
we're fucking
Nah, so like
swear.
I definitely, I mean, even when I was moving to Colorado, like it wasn't for any reason other than like I just had to get out of Maryland, man. I just had to. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it no more, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so I definitely feel that though.
I'm interested to hear, like, since coming to Pittsburgh, what do you feel like about this place has made you become this person? Because I can assume
Bro,
that
'cause,
you have
like,
grown, you've changed,
You
you've
were even
evolved.
saying that like you feel like you're from everywhere that you've been. I don't feel so much about it just from Colorado, just because like the culture out there would like I didn't really align with me just as far as like literally just like what they would do. Like it was like a real like hiking, outdoorsy type of, and like I like that stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on that. It's just not necessarily me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I coming to Pittsburgh, man, like it didn't even feel like I really moved anywhere.
Yeah.
For real. Like it was just like this is just where I'm supposed to be, man.
Yeah.
Like it just felt way too comfortable. Like
Yeah.
it was just like wearing a hoodie that was yours. Like I was
Yeah.
like, damn, like this shit fits right. Like it's I'm just like, yeah, like and then it really was just like forward, motion, everything. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, we could do this. Boom.
Yeah.
And then just, forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now we're here. Yeah,
So
I mean, yeah.
cool. And it all
Shit is
just like
crazy.
happens.
Yeah.
Like it obviously doesn't happen overnight, and there's obviously like those moments of the in betweens.
For sure.
But it's like learning to
none
fall
of
in
it
love
was
with
certain,
it.
bro. Like again, like I moved out here, like I didn't have like no car, like I didn't even like have an apartment. Like
Yeah.
I was living in an Airbnb with a Jamaican that smoked black and milds in the crib, various hours of the night.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like that's just the way he chose to live his life,
Not the
bro.
black and mild inside.
Dog,
Bro,
like,
like I get the black and mild, do your
it's
thing,
like,
but why you
yeah,
gotta be inside?
It was in the crib. I'm like,
Come
there's
on,
no
bro.
like the layers of stress to that is
like,
crazy.
bro, you can't even like blow that shit out the window.
Dog, and then like the Airbnb host was like, he was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, bro, like we've asked you mad times to stop smoking in the crib. They called the cops on this. I'm just like, holy shit, man.
Like,
You
what
know
did I
mean?
get myself into?
Dog,
dude?
I'm like, this shit is crazy, you know what I mean? But yeah, we made it shake regardless. So again, like, I'm with you as far as like when you decide to do something and like you set your mind, on something, it's all systems go. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it. We'll figure it out. Fuck
Swear.
it. I feel you.
Swear. Yeah, and being in California, like, it was so amazing. Like every day, I would wake up and I would surf and I would go hiking and, take my dog out and do all these amazing things. I'm in the most beautiful place. I lived 5 minutes from the beach. I had a rooftop balcony looking over all of LA, looking over the
That's
ocean.
crazy.
Like you could see everything, and in like the world, it seemed like everything was great and I was successful and I was happy. But like within myself, there was like this soul version of myself that was still calling to me like, okay, you're evolving, you're growing, but you're still not standing in your purpose. You're still not living the life that you're meant to be living and doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, And I remember this one day, I was sitting on my rooftop balcony in LA, and my best friend's brother, his name is Sean, who is one of my brothers. Big shout out, Sean, love you. This moment, like I'll remember forever, sitting on that balcony and him saying, you should move back to Pittsburgh. Like, me and my guys here, everything's really dope. The city is really amazing. Like there's a lot of creatives that are really coming up here right now. And there was just no question in my mind. I was like, I'm down. And like you said, it's like that effortless. Everything came together.
Yeah.
It just happened. It worked. It hasn't been easy. There's been a lot of transition in between.
Facts.
But like fast forward, it's been exactly about 2 years now since leaving. And this point in my life right now, it's so weird because that vision I was telling you about, We've been teaching boxing and breathwork classes.
Yeah, no, and I
Me,
wanted to
you
get to
know,
that too.
Justin, Teddy. So that's like a new program, you know, we created in this last year of time and have been cultivating. So we did this music festival at the I Am Pittsburgh Festival, which Mike actually performed
Yeah,
at,
yeah,
right?
that's like I think that's where I met you at.
Yeah, yeah,
actually.
dude. Yeah, we met there.
Yeah.
That day, that's so weird.
Yeah.
What the fuck? This is even a
lot
full
of
circle moment
yeah,
right
yeah.
now. So that day, we were teaching. You know, I taught yoga at the beginning, but we pulled up there. I was late. My homie Christian, he saw me walking because I didn't know where the park was at. He saw me walking, so he scooped me up, him and his girl. And so I would get there late, but all my yoga mats are already laid out because we use all of my mats because they're Namai. Namai sells sustainable yoga mats that are all custom. And they're all laid out. And I'm looking over the whole city, looking at my mats, and I had such a
Like
jaw-dropping
yeah.
moment. Like, I'm finally doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I must finally be that person that is worthy of these things because it's happening.
Yeah.
And after that day, I had all these really crazy experiences because that same day I connected with B really for like the first time. Like, him and I had like a super, you know, crazy conversation that I'll literally remember forever. It's like embedded in my mind forever. Connected with you that day. I connected with Mike that day for the first time in a really long time. Met a lot of really important people in my life now, or even like cultivated relationships with them on that day.
Yeah.
The next day I think to myself, and I think about that vision I had in my backyard in Arizona. My hair was bleach blonde. I was wearing purple tank top and pink shorts. That day, my hair was bleach blonde. I was wearing the same purple tank top and the pink shorts.
That's crazy.
And wasn't on purpose. Wasn't because I
You
just
were
wanted to
trying
wear
to
that
like
outfit.
have that moment, trying to like align your life to that moment, but
Yeah.
like it would just like kind of happen naturally.
It was like, wow, I completely forgot about that vision I had until this very moment right now. And it was like, to me, that was like a green light. I don't know if you've read Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights.
no.
So in that book, he uses like the idea like of green lights as like these signals from God, from the universe of like, keep going. To me, that moment was like a green light. Like, you're on the right path. Like, keep doing this. You know, so full circle, like it was just so beautiful. And just even having a business and growing my business and being able to teach classes and stuff, and even just making new designs and working on all different areas of life and
That's
business
crazy.
is just so fun. And I'm just so grateful, especially for this time and for the community of people that I feel like we really have in Pittsburgh. Like, I'm so grateful for you guys. I'm so grateful for, you know, the guys over at Hurt Locker. I'm grateful for, you know, Teddy and Justin. And it's just so amazing. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to be at CND and to be working with B and Kyla every day and our friend Ashley. Like, I couldn't have lived this life if I was anywhere else. So I'm really blessed that I chose.
I fully agree with you, man. I mean, you know, I moved out here and just shit just changed. My life changed. You know what I mean? Like I'm super blessed. And I definitely want to get into, you know, I don't want to take up too much of your time here. Are we good on time? How are we doing on time? Okay, but how did boxing and breath work come about? Because like you said, like that like just happened like this past year, right? Like that's when that like originated. Like how did that get together? Like, you know, how did, you know, you and Justin like, you know, come up with that whole combination of doing yoga and boxing, like, you know, put it in under one joint?
So Justin, I guess, had this dream, right? I don't even know if I had even met him, maybe one time, right? He had a dream about boxing and breathwork. Hits me up that next day, like literally hits me and is like, we got to have a meeting, right? And Justin is a very passionate, very powerful, just amazing human being. Like, his energy is just fucking.
Justin will make it like his idea think like it was your idea.
Swear.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
It's just,
like,
I don't know what it is
just
about
the way
him,
he be
bro.
talking,
like,
he was like,
is.
yeah, I definitely thought that, and we doing it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I
For
swear,
sure.
bro. It's like the second he shared that idea with me, it was like no question about it. And at that time, I wasn't really teaching any classes. I had taught a little bit of yoga. I taught a little bit of meditation, but it was like, I really wanted to like throw myself into like doing this stuff, you know? And when he came to me with it, I was 1000% down. You know, we have this gym we could do it at. We do it at Gold Medal Boxing Gym. And it was just this slow process because we didn't have gold medal. We didn't have Teddy. Teddy is like a basically like professional level boxer. And when Justin had the idea, we were at Hurt Locker the one day and we just went through like a trial run basically where like I taught us our mobility yoga at the beginning. He went through like a boxing session with me and then we just did a breathwork meditation at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us looked at each other afterwards and we were like, we're going to change the world.
Yeah, this is it.
And last night he even texted me and was just like, we are the change. It was just a random text, you know? And in cultivating these classes and in like creating the community with these classes, like, bro, I can't even explain to you like what it is that we're doing. Like,
how was the
gives me chills.
Initial response? Like after that first
people
class,
were just diehard from the beginning. Like our people, the people that be coming weekly, you know, that have their memberships and stuff, like they are diehard. Like we have built this community, right? But the community is so beautiful because it's cultivated around taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, taking care of your soul, and learning how to, you know, harness your energy and embrace your energy and like dive into the masculine and feminine, which was like a huge piece of what me and Justin, why we really vibe and why we really business-wise could come together with that idea, is because he's very much like the masculine energy. So masculine energy is like the sun. Everything is based on polarity in the universe, right? So it's like the sun versus the moon, hot versus cold, day versus night. So that masculine is like the daytime, very active, very powerful, very go-getter, very intense, right? But that feminine is all about receptivity, all about healing, all about relaxing, all about enjoying and like playing in your life. So we both were just like, wow, like let's create a class that allows people to utilize and embrace both sides of themselves. Because most people, men and women in the world that we live in right now, are very much in their masculine. There is very rare that you meet men or women that are actually like deeply in their feminine, right? And it's not about gender at all. Energy it doesn't have gender. It's just energy.
right.
And that feminine energy, when you see that receptivity, how powerful it can be to have someone take a few moments, hone in, go internally, breathe, focus on what it feels like to be inside of your body, even just like wait to have experiences, maybe thoughts that come to you while you're laying there, you know, or doing your meditation. And it's just so beautiful because within that receptivity, that is where like so much beauty and love and like creation is birthed. Like the feminine is the creator, you know, like that feminine energy is creation. We birth human beings.
That's great. Yeah. Women are probably closer to God than anything on this,
you know,
on this planet.
And it's like, if all of us have the power to utilize feminine energy, we should be. Because that creation, even as a man, to be able to harness that creative energy, like what you guys are doing here, the masters in creation, like being able to do that, to be a creative person, you have to be in that feminine. And so like
interesting. Okay.
being able to give people that, you know, maybe don't have jobs like we have or do what the types of things that we do, being able to give them like that time and that space, you know, to take care of themselves and even just like connect with each other. Like we're just building a little community, and I'm seeing how this like vibration of this positive energy of this community is just building and growing and becoming stronger. And I'm just so excited to watch how it continues to unfold, because it just feels like a blessing and a gift every single day that we get to teach these classes.
That's dope. Like, do you guys have like just right now just like a core group of regulars, or like do you like see people just kind of like, you know, new, maybe like every 1 or 2 classes, like, you know, new faces showing up?
Yeah, so we have like our core group. My main girls, shout out Lexi and Lindsay, my bitches. OD, the gang. Yeah, like they're really like, they're realists. Like they've been there, you know, supporting us, and have been to a lot of our classes. But yeah, like we'll have new people come pretty frequently. And it's really cool when we have new people come in, because we'll make sure we take like the adequate amount of time to focus on them, give them an amazing experience, make sure that they know, back to that idea of, you know, the way I teach yoga, it's the same way with the way we teach boxing, you know, where it's like everyone is welcome here, every age, every, you know, level, every anything. You just come here and we got you. Like, we'll take care of you. We're here to teach you. We're here to love you. We're here to show you. You know, it's not like, oh, well, all these people have been here since the beginning, so they're more advanced and you're dumb. It's like, no, like we're going to pull you to the side for 10 minutes and we're going to take some time to just dive into you and really be there for you and make sure that you feel confident in what you're doing and like the exercises that you're performing and the things that you're experiencing during the class, you know?
I feel that. So, I mean, you know, obviously like when did you get named the COO of CND?
That was like the beginning of this year.
That's crazy. Okay, word.
Yeah.
So like, just like speak on your involvement with them. Just how did that relationship come about, and just your role up to this point.
Yeah, it's been such like a once again divinely guided, just like such a gift into my life. It was October 8th, right? Was the first event that they had. They had their opening events.
Legendary.
That
was
night
legendary.
will be in time forever
For real.
for all of the people that were there, because of especially the people that were there. Those people will be in history.
No
as
facts.
Successful people.
Bro, I was even telling Bees last week, like, bro, like that event was crazy because like it was really on some like just like the energy that was like captured in there was just like, yo, if you were there, bro, like you know what it was.
You
like,
only know if you know.
To even try to relay it
Yeah.
to someone else, like it's just like, dog, I'm not even doing it justice right now. Like you just had to be in the mixture of that. Like so yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And just that day was it just felt so beautiful. I was so grateful I was at that event. I was just attending, right? I didn't even know what that studio was. B had tried to invite me there before, and we just never connected. I didn't realize it was even an art studio. When he said studio, I thought it was a music studio.
Okay.
Because I have been connected with a bunch of homies and stuff that have music studios. I didn't know if he made music. I didn't really know him that well,
Yeah.
And when I went there, I was like, oh my God, like this is literally amazing.
Yeah, right.
And all the people, connected with them and stuff, and just felt so easy. And that same night, Artie said something to me, like, we've been really trying to like personally manifest you here in this place. Like you're supposed to be here. And I feel like I needed a little bit of that, like assurance, like I feel like where I was previously, I'm really grateful for all the opportunities that I had. I worked over at Illegal. I was there for about a year and a half. I was the store manager over there, and one of my best friends, Frank, was the owner. And I'm really grateful for the experiences that I had over there. But I didn't feel like I was really able to take a position that I had really wanted to take, if that makes sense. In making big choices, making big moves. Like I'm such a person of change, as I've said. And it's like, okay, well, I feel like I've fulfilled this role. I want to be able to grow. And I'm just grateful that he was able to help me step into being confident enough to want to be in a leadership position, really. Like I learned a lot from him and from that experience. But yeah, when Artie said that, I remember just being like, something clicked in my mind, like something about this place, I'm supposed to be here. And that week, we had our first meeting, and it was like, I'm going to drop everything in my life to be here. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why I was doing it. It was just like, I knew. Those moments where it's like there is no thinking, it's only knowing. First time I connected with anything, being at CND, connecting in that space, I was just like, I know I'm supposed to be here. And solely because it's also, B especially is deeply intertwined with Justin and, all my other connections, all my other people, all my other friends, even like you guys, knowing them, like, Mike's been in my life for a long time too. So it's just like knowing that like all of this little group of people are like intertwined. I was like, I have to be here, And so I like came on to the team. I took over social media and branding and stuff like that because nobody was really doing any of that stuff. And I just went crazy with it.
Damn, I low-key wanted to talk to you about that. Like I should have just like have more questions about that because like it seems like you kind of have like a pulse on like how to like just like do that like sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Like it. With that too, like utilizing that and boxing and breath work, and then my own page within the last couple months of time.
Yeah, bro. Every page associated with you got like a couple thousand. I'm like,
I'm like,
damn, like she got the touch to that. Like, yo, I'm like, that's crazy.
That's like the CND page. Like, I took that over, right? When I took it over, I had like 42 followers.
Yeah, no, I remember because like, bro, like. We checked, like, I think Michael checked the page and said, like, yeah, like, this shit got bad followers. I was like, that's right, we're just at 42 yesterday. And I'm like, they're on, like, a good pace. Like, and, like, people are, like, knowing about them at that pace.
Yeah.
I look back, it's 7K followers.
Bro,
I'm like, shit.
This one day, it was so crazy. Okay, so that page blew up. The CND page blew up, right? It went from, like, 42 in about a month and a half span of time. We're at about, like, 14K right now.
Damn.
That shit blew my mind because I've been growing my personal page for 6 years.
Yeah.
And this shit,
Yeah, right.
This shit, I only had, 2,000.
Like, was it like a certain piece of content that like you put out, or like what was like? What do you think it was?
The magic.
Yeah.
Those are those moments where it's like that divine energy of God, of the universe, of whatever it is. Those green light moments of like, keep doing this. That's what it felt like to me. Like,
Okay.
there was no. It didn't feel like a lucky break or anything. It was like, no, like you've worked for this. You deserve this. Like, enjoy it.
Damn.
And a couple of weeks went by, and obviously I was happy that page grew, but it was so funny. This one night we're like sitting in the studio, and B was like in the bathroom or something. He came back up and he's like, yo, like my page is blowing up right now. And I was like, I'm just going to click on my page and see what's up. Both of our shit overnight, it went from like, both of us had like 2,000 some to like 10K.
Damn.
And it was just like, what
the fuck?
And we're looking at each other like, what is this? Like, once again, like one of those moments where it's like, you can't explain it. Like, we didn't buy that shit. We didn't go out and look for it. It just happened. And why it happened at the same time? Why did all these pages blow up within a matter of like,
days.
just weeks,
Yeah,
days?
yeah.
Like, it was just so crazy, so amazing, so beautiful. And, took that shit over and really started getting confident because it's like, all right, once you see that like feedback from the universe, it's like, oh, all right, like I can do this shit.
Yeah, facts.
Know?
Yeah, no, word up, for real though. Just like just that 1 inch, they'll be like, yo, like I can actually, you know what I mean? Then it's just,
yeah,
foot on the gas.
Yeah, bro. It's like, okay, like let me make sure we're good. And once we're good, oh, we're fucking
out of
going.
here. Yeah, no,
It's
we're outta
over.
here.
Like,
Bet.
let's fucking run this shit up.
Okay.
And yeah, just had been doing that for a while over at CND. And then at the beginning of the new year, I really felt the need to like step into a leadership position. And I basically prompted, I was like, I think that I deserve this position. I think that this is what I'm supposed to be doing here. And this is why. And there was no if, ands, or buts about it, really. Like, everybody was just really
Give
like,
that shit to her.
they were like, we've
Yeah.
been waiting for this. Like, we've been wanting you to do this and take on this role and stuff. And not gonna lie, sometimes it still is just like, whoa, like we're having this meeting the other day. I've got all these people that are a lot older than me, like sitting here asking me questions. I've got everybody staring at me, and like I got all the answers. Like, I'm the one that's like leading us towards where we're going, or like how we're gonna get this event planned and blah blah blah. And I'm like, wow, like this shit's so cool. You ever just do that where you look around and you're like,
Definitely.
this is sick. Like, how'd I end up here? Like, this
definitely.
shit's so dope.
Life is lifing right now. Like,
I swear.
for real.
I swear.
Yep.
It is. And like doing that, I've been teaching yoga over at the studio too.
Yeah.
So that's been really amazing.
Okay.
Like bringing wellness into the space.
Integrating
But
those two.
being able to take on a leadership role, I personally take leadership very, very seriously. Like, being a leader is not something to be fucking played with. Like, when
Yeah.
you are a leader, you can completely change the world, because if there's all these people that are following you, you are the one that's leading them to wherever they're supposed to be going. So if you're leading them in light, they're going to the light, you know?
Definitely.
And so being able to take on a role where I could practice leadership, and even like within like a company, to be able to teach people different things, show people, hey, like let's build community. Let's not just do stuff just to do it. Like, how can we utilize a meeting time to, connect with each other? How can we utilize it to make each other better? How can we utilize it to meditate, to pray, to come together and really like commune in this space, and then go out into the world and make the world a better place?
Definitely.
And that has been really my overall goal over at CND since taking on that role,
Okay.
is just being able to like cultivate powerful community and really like bringing the best out of the people that are around me. Like,
Word.
being in a leadership position, right? You have a lot of power because you can see who someone is and you can pull that out of them if you're a good leader.
Yeah, right.
You can take their qualities that are better, maybe ones that you don't even have, that you value in them.
And accentuate
See
them.
those things. Let them know, yo, like this is amazing. It's amazing that you do this. I want to see you do it more. Challenge them, make them better, ask them more of themselves, and make them see it,
Definitely.
that it's possible, So
Definitely.
just really grateful for that too. Like,
Nah, for
it's just
sure.
been such a gift. Like, all of the things that I love, all the people that I love. I just like wake up every day and life just feels like such a gift.
Dog, Charlotte, that's incredible. Thank you so much for joining us, yo. If you got anything coming up just as far as Namai, CND, any, boxing and breathwork stuff, man, anything you want to plug, yo, the floor is yours. And but we appreciate you coming out. But this is a dope conversation.
Thank you.
Nah, for
I
sure.
appreciate you so much. Like it's just been so amazing.
Absolutely,
doing this
yo.
with you.
For sure, yo. So no, the floor is yours.
All right. So I have like my whole list of things in my
Yeah,
mind.
run through it.
Okay, cool. So for boxing and breathwork classes, we teach boxing and breathwork at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays at Gold Medal Boxing Gym. So if you follow me on Instagram, I have a link to that right in my bio that you can sign up. If you want to sign up for a yoga class every Monday night at 8 p.m., we have over at CND, the Creators Next Door. That is also under that same link on my Instagram page. We're going to be having like a vendor event coming up here soon over at the Creators Next Door. So there'll just be a bunch of different like creatives, almost like a modern day, like cool version of like a farmer's market or something where like different businesses and companies and creatives and stuff kind of come together, artists come together. We have like a little party experience. People come, mingle, stuff like that. So that'll be coming up first week of April. And then what was my last thing? Oh, and then I have a new little drop of Namai mats that are coming out here very soon. As soon as they come in, I'm going to be getting everything moving. So next couple of weeks, I'm going to be dropping a couple of new designs of regular mats, but then also circular yoga mats as well. So I'm really excited about that.
Where can they find you on socials and all that?
So social media, my name on Instagram is Charlotte_supernatural. And then the Namai site is my_NAMAI on Instagram. So, and with both of those IGs, you can just click the link and go to my site from there. And the site is just mynamai.com, no spaces or underscore, anything like that.
Hell yeah, yo. Listen, MIC Podcast, episode 73, man. Charlotte Supernatural in the fucking building. And we're out this bitch, man. Peace.
Peace.